The show Deadliest Catch thrusts viewers into the heart of one of the most dangerous professions on Earth, capturing the raw chaos and relentless fury of the Bering Sea as it punishes crab fishermen with towering waves and brutal winds. Beneath the excitement of high seas drama lies a haunting undercurrent of tragedy, a sobering tale of lives lost to the merciless ocean. Each season is a reminder of the sea's unforgiving nature, and as the icy waters continue to claim lives, one must ask, how many more must we sacrifice before we fully grasp the gravity of the risks these fishermen face? While reality TV often showcases tales of love, romance, and drama, few shows provide a raw and honest look into the extreme realities of life, like Deadliest Catch. For nearly 2 decades, this intense series has gripped audiences worldwide, offering a vivid portrayal of the high-stakes world of commercial crab fishing in the Bering Sea. Beneath the excitement of high seas drama lies a haunting undercurrent of tragedy, a sobering tale of lives lost to the merciless ocean. Each season is a reminder of the sea's unforgiving nature, and as the icy waters continue to claim lives, one must ask, how many more must be sacrificed before we fully grasp the gravity of the risks these fishermen face? For nearly 2 decades, Deadliest Catch has captivated audiences worldwide with its unflinching portrayal of commercial crab fishing, showcasing the heart-stopping moments aboard vessels tossed by tempestuous seas, while peeling back the layers to reveal a deeper story, one of perseverance, profound loss, and the indomitable spirit required to survive in such a perilous environment. The question looms large. What drives these captains and their crews to return to the sea season after season? It is a living chronicle of human resilience, a testament to the endurance, sacrifice, and unbreakable bonds formed in the face of relentless adversity. Every episode captures not just the struggle against nature, but the internal battles fought by these fishermen and women, the moments of doubt, the strain of leadership, the heartbreak of loss, and the brief but hard-earned flashes of victory. Mandy Hansen's rise from deckhand to respected leader is symbolic of a new generation pushing against old limits, determined to honor the past while forging a new path forward. She, like so many others, is not just fighting for survival but for recognition, dignity, and the right to stand shoulder to shoulder with the men who have long dominated the decks. As Deadliest Catch continues, the show's focus is broadened beyond the immediate dangers of crab fishing to explore the long-term toll the lifestyle takes. Mental health struggles, substance abuse, and family breakdowns are no longer hidden behind the rough exterior of stoic fishermen. They are openly acknowledged, providing a rare window into the emotional cost of high-risk labor. The cameras may capture the triumph of a record-breaking haul or the exhilaration of braving a storm, but they also reveal the quieter, darker moments when captains break down, deckhands walk away, or families crumble under the strain. These stories resonate because they reflect universal human experiences, the hunger for success, the burden of responsibility, and the pain of personal failure. Behind the rugged beards, tattooed arms, and weathered faces are individuals who, despite their toughness, are profoundly human, vulnerable to the same fears, griefs, and hopes as anyone else. One cannot watch Deadliest Catch without sensing the looming presence of the sea itself, almost a character in its own right. Unpredictable, merciless, and awe-inspiring. It is a force that demands respect and extracts payment, whether through the loss of a pot, a boat, or, tragically, a life. It is this intimate, unfiltered confrontation with mortality that gives the series its raw power. While reality TV often thrives on artificial drama, Deadliest Catch stands apart by offering something more authentic, a reminder that real life holds stakes no script can manufacture. As audiences continue to tune in season after season, they are not just watching the pursuit of crab, they are bearing witness to a centuries-old struggle between humankind and nature, a fragile dance of survival played out on the crests of icy waves. In the end, Deadliest Catch is not just about the crab or the catch. It is about the people, their sacrifices, their resilience, and the indelible mark they leave behind with each passing storm. What makes Deadliest Catch endure after so many seasons is not just the spectacular visuals of heaving waves or the technical choreography of launching pots in high winds. It's the way the show invites us into the inner lives of the men and women who gamble everything each time they cast off. For some, the sea represents a final chance at redemption. Many crew members, like Nick Mlashevsky before his untimely passing, spoke openly about battling addiction and using the discipline of fishing as a way to stay clean. Others, like Wild Bill Wakrowski, carry the weight of being both leader and surrogate father to broken young men who arrive on the docks desperate to outrun their past. There are no illusions on the Bering Sea. The environment strips away pretense, exposes weakness, and demands accountability. A greenhorn who fakes confidence or hesitates when danger strikes can not only cost himself a limb, but risk the lives of his crewmates. That crucible, that harsh test of spirit and character, is part of the unspoken curriculum of the deckhand's education. It's a brutal initiation, but for those who make it through, it can also be transformative, offering a sense of purpose that the world on land so often withholds. The ships themselves are more than just vessels. They are symbols of lineage, pride, and often burden. The F/V Northwestern, captained by Sig Hansen, represents not only Norwegian fishing heritage, but also the psychological cost of legacy. Sig's body has endured strokes, heart attacks, and years of abuse at the hands of freezing winds and high stress. And yet he continues to return, driven by something far deeper than profit. His relationship with Mandy adds an additional emotional layer. Watching a father try to guide his daughter through the same brutal path he once walked, balancing his protective instincts with the hard truth that safety and success rarely coexist out there. Mandy's rise as captain is a rare storyline in television. A woman surrounded by a legacy of men, carving her place not by defiance alone, but through endurance, humility, and performance under pressure. Her struggle is not just to be accepted by the fleet, but to surpass the invisible ceiling imposed by an industry long defined by masculinity and generational stoicism. Then there are those who seem perpetually at war with themselves. Josh Harris, whose storyline intertwined deeply with the death of his father, Captain Phil, has long battled to step out from under the shadow of that legacy. For viewers who remember the night Phil collapsed, who witnessed the hospital scenes, the heartbreak, the rawness of a crew shattered by mortality, Josh's continued presence on the show has been an emotional anchor. He represents the weight of unfinished business, of promises made to ghosts, and the difficulty of growing into leadership without collapsing under the burden of comparison. Josh has faltered, made bad business decisions, clashed with partners, and walked away from the deck more than once. Yet there's something deeply human about his struggle, the way he keeps returning, seeking not only his own identity, but a sense of closure with the man who raised him on the sea. Viewers who have followed the series since its inception know that the boats aren't the only things that change. The seasons grow shorter, the quotas shift, and regulations tighten, mirroring the broader environmental and political pressures that weigh on commercial fishing as a whole. Climate change looms quietly but unmistakably in the backdrop. Warming waters, shifting crab populations, and unpredictable storm patterns have begun to erode the reliability of traditions once considered unshakable. These challenges, compounded by economic volatility and fuel costs, have forced many captains to take bigger risks for smaller returns. The financial stakes are harrowing. A single mechanical failure, a mistimed storm, or a poor crab count can turn a season of brutal labor into a net loss. And unlike office jobs, failure at sea doesn't just affect the individual. It ripples out to families, communities, and small towns that depend on the income of those few chaotic weeks on the water. Yet despite all this, the draw remains irresistible. For every veteran who retires or is lost, a new face emerges, often younger, more reckless, and unaware of what they are truly facing. These greenhorns are the raw material from which deckhands are forged. Their hands blister and split open in the cold. Their stomachs churn with the rocking rhythm of the boat. They earn respect only after months of silence, sweat, and quiet observation. The rite of passage is not a ceremony, but a grind. A series of long nights and longer days where a single misstep can bring shame or injury. But with time, they begin to move like the others. They find a rhythm in the chaos, a strange peace amid the madness. And somewhere along the way, They stop dreaming of the beach and start dreaming of the next haul, the next tide, the next moment when the sea grants just enough mercy to make it all feel worth it. It's this addictive combination of danger and brotherhood that makes leaving the industry so difficult. Many former deckhands who age out or get injured find themselves struggling to adapt to life on land. The structure and meaning they found at sea don't translate easily to cubicles or service jobs. PTSD is common, though rarely discussed. The smell of diesel, the sound of winches, or even the taste of salt in the air can trigger powerful memories, some treasured, some traumatic. Captains, too, often face a slow and painful transition out of the wheelhouse. Their knowledge, honed over decades, becomes less valuable in a world where satellite data and environmental policy now dominate fishing decisions. For some, retirement feels like erasure, a slow fade from a life where every choice mattered and every storm was a test of leadership. And yet, for all its brutality, Deadliest Catch never loses sight of the beauty inherent in its subject. The cinematography, from sweeping drone shots over glacier-lined horizons to the intimate close-ups of exhausted faces lit by sodium vapor lamps, transforms the decks of crab boats into something epic and almost mythological. The sea itself becomes a kind of vast cathedral, sacred, merciless, and awe-inspiring. There are moments when the crew, despite their suffering, stands in quiet reverence, watching a sunrise burn through the mist or a pod of whales surfacing alongside the ship. These glimpses of grace don't erase the hardship, but they contextualize it. They remind viewers that these men and women are not just working. They are participating in a tradition as old as humanity, risking themselves to draw life from the wild. The show has also become a kind of living obituary, a way to remember those who have passed, not with eulogies, but with footage, moments of laughter, frustration, and quiet contemplation preserved in digital amber. Captain Phil Harris, Nick Mlashin, Min Reyes, Jake Anderson's father, whose disappearance haunted multiple seasons. Each death reshapes the emotional terrain of the show. There are no dramatic send-offs, no grand speeches, just the silence left behind, the empty chair at the table, the somber looks exchanged when the camera isn't supposed to be watching. This unflinching honesty is part of what has kept the series so compelling. It doesn't sanitize the reality. It doesn't look away. Instead, it asks the audience to confront the truth, that even legends die, and sometimes they die without answers. As the world outside becomes more disconnected from its physical roots, more digitized, more insulated, Deadliest Catch serves as a reminder of a different kind of life, one governed by nature, grit, and the irreducible need to provide. It is not nostalgic, exactly, but it does carry the weight of something elemental, something that refuses to be tamed by time or trend. Whether it's a 19-year-old greenhorn vomiting over the rail or a grizzled captain charting a risky course through ice-packed waters, each scene is a meditation on courage in the face of futility. Because in the end, the sea always wins. The only question is how long you can stay upright before it claims your body, your boat, or your mind. So as the seasons pass and the faces on the screen grow older or disappear, the story continues. Not because it's glamorous or profitable, but because it is necessary. Because someone must go where others will not. Someone must stand on the edge of the map and throw pots into the black. Someone must face the storm, not with arrogance, but with respect. And someone must tell the story, not with headlines or statistics, but with blood, salt, and the unshakable bond of those who dare to haul life from the deep. But behind the brutal glamour of Deadliest Catch lies another truth, often hidden in plain sight, the quiet toll on families left ashore. For every captain pushing his body to the edge on deck, there's a spouse pacing in the kitchen, a child waiting by the window, a parent dreading the late-night phone call. Wives and partners of fishermen occupy a strange emotional limbo, living for months without contact, holding down homes, raising children, managing bills, all while knowing that each season might be the one where their loved one doesn't return. The show occasionally gives us glimpses of this domestic weight. Brief phone calls where captains try to sound strong, video chats from icy wheelhouses, the awkward transition when a weathered father walks back into a household that has learned to operate without him. These reunions are not always joyful. They're often fraught with tension, adjustment, and the unspoken knowledge that soon the sea will call again. This cyclical abandonment shapes not only marriages but entire families, where children grow up half-raised by the rhythms of tide and quota, learning early that love can look like absence. The intergenerational impact of crab fishing runs deeper than most viewers realize. Many of the captains on the show are second- or third-generation fishermen, shaped by fathers and grandfathers who handed down not only skills but traumas. Sig Hansen often speaks of his father's relentless discipline and the unyielding standards that shaped his youth. Jake Anderson has openly struggled with the ghost of a father who vanished, his body never recovered, leaving an emotional wound that no amount of successful hauls could close. Even Josh Harris carries the complex legacy of Captain Phil, whose charisma and volatility were matched only by his premature death. These family threads add a rich undercurrent to the show's narrative. The unspoken question of whether legacy is a gift or a curse, whether inheriting the sea means inheriting its heartbreak as well. And yet, even amid all this, moments of humor and absurdity crack through the tension. A crewmate slipping on the ice and laughing despite the pain. The ridiculous superstitions about bananas on board. The fierce rivalries that dissolve into pranks and banter once the pots are loaded. There's something almost childlike in the way these hardened men joke around on deck, finding levity even when the stakes are life and death. This humor is not mere distraction. It's a survival mechanism, a way to keep despair at bay in an environment where nature shows no mercy. And for viewers, it's a reminder that even the toughest exterior can conceal vulnerability, that even the saltiest sea dog is still, at heart, just a person trying to stay afloat in more ways than one. The production of Deadliest Catch itself is a logistical marvel. Filming in such extreme conditions requires a crew that is as fearless and resilient as the fishermen they're documenting. Camera operators dangle over icy rails, hoist heavy gear in freezing rain, and strap themselves to the deck during storms, all while capturing intimate, unscripted moments. The trust between camera crews and boat crews is hard-earned. The cameras are not passive observers, but embedded participants, often risking as much as the deckhands to get the shot. Over the years, this collaboration has yielded some of the most breathtaking footage in reality television. Not staged, not dramatized, but raw slices of human endurance framed against the fury of nature. These images have shaped not only the show's aesthetic, but its emotional resonance, drawing viewers into a world that is both alien and achingly familiar. At its best, Deadliest Catch transcends the genre of reality TV and becomes something closer to documentary poetry. It explores universal themes: struggle, sacrifice, legacy, loss, through the specific, gritty lens of commercial fishing. It's not just about catching crab. It's about what it means to work yourself to the bone for something you believe in, even when the payoff is uncertain and the risks are immense. It's about the bonds formed in adversity, the silent respect between men who trust each other with their lives, and the quiet pride of knowing you faced the storm and did not break. The show's longevity is a testament to these deeper currents, to its refusal to